Okay, you guys, I'm doing this for you guys. So, you ready? Candyman. Nope. Okay, that was really weird, but that's not gonna stop me from doing a spoiler review of. Should I say his name again? So, if you guys have not seen my initial thoughts of Candyman, then make sure you guys check out my prior video that I've uploaded. I've already done a non-spoiler review. So if you guys have not seen the movie, leave this video, watch that, and go see the movie before you watch this. Or if you don't care, then stick around, grab, I don't know, just grab some popcorn or something, I don't know. But enjoy the review. So starting off, wait, can somebody turn on some eerie music? Isaiah? Editing, Isaiah? Can you do that for me? Thank you. So starting off with the movie, we have the main character, Anthony, which I can't really call him a protagonist because the way they take his character, I will explain a little bit later. But we basically have the main character, Anthony, investigating the town that was deserted. I can't remember exactly where this is. Again, I probably should have wrote that down in my notes. It is the original town where the Candyman was from. Well, one of them. This was not in particular the original setting for the original Candyman, but it is a setting for a version of the Candyman, as this film actually shows that there is more than one Candyman in this movie. So it's somewhat of a spiritual reboot or soft reboot, but at the same time it's not. So you can look at it as a direct sequel and that will work perfectly fine, but there's some things that you can tell that they changed up just for the sake of story. But it also works because it doesn't feel like they're changing anything that was established prior. So they do a really good job at doing that, and in my opinion, they do a good job of making sure that this is a sequel. Okay? Now that I got that off my chest, let's keep it going. So this prior town had a very different person as Candyman. There was a man passing around candy to little kids everywhere, until the kids started finding razor blades in their candy, which the police started looking for this man because they associated him with this, and he was hiding for a while. There was a kid that encountered him at that time, and he came out of a hole in the wall, which, honestly, in my opinion, that is sus. Okay, look, I don't care what anybody says. People are like, oh, he's innocent, he got killed. Look, guys, look. If, you saw this man come out of a wall, he has a hook, one hook for a hand, he's giving you candy, wouldn't he be a little bit sus? Would you say that he would be a little bit sus? Now, again, I think this guy may have a mental illness or maybe some problems, but clearly this is not someone that you would immediately look at and be trusting. So, would it be any surprise why they would blame him? But at the same time, you can also see why what they did was wrong, because they never took the dude in for questioning, they never took him in general. The police just beat him right on the spot and killed him. And so the kid witnessed this and grew up to be one of the people who worked at the laundromat, which will play significance that I'll explain a little bit later. And so as Anthony is trying to discover new things to do with his artwork, because, well, it's basically a white guy, and all the white guys in this movie are jerks, to the point where I would even call them a douche, because all these people are very uppity and they're very bougie. And they're very, they're not likable. Not a single white person in this movie is likable. And I get why they did that. I really do. But that is something that did bother me as I was watching this. So basically Anthony takes that story and wants to run with it and kind of spread the message out until the laundromat guy tells him about the Candyman. And that's when his obsession rises. And he spreads the legend to everyone, and everybody starts dying when they start saying the name in the mirror, obviously. But there's a little twist that maybe not a lot of people who are not that observant would notice. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't expect it to go this extreme. Anthony turns into the new Candyman throughout the entire movie. And not only is that the case, but Anthony is the baby from the first Candyman movie. The little baby that Candyman took and Helen was trying to get back. This is the same baby from the first Candyman. And so Candyman had this all planned out that he was going to turn into the next Candyman. So at this point, it was really inevitable. And in that regard, it becomes slightly more haunting because that's predestined stuff. And so there's a lot of body horror which is involved in this movie, as you see Anthony's hand gets stung when he's taking a picture of the abandoned town where the man was beaten earlier. And you see his hand like go from a bee sting to like the skin gets all like gross and disgusting, and then skin starts falling off, and to the point where his entire right side or left side of his body, I can't remember which side, but it got completely messed up. And then he Jesus, man, it was wild. And as the Candyman would show up too, Anthony would look in the mirror and you would notice the Candyman was doing the exact same movements as him when he's in the mirror with him. Like, for example, he'd put his hand up against glass like that, the Candyman's hook would do the same thing. So they were obviously showing that he's turning into the Candyman, and it was already pre-planned for the Candyman to take him over. And going back more on the Candyman character, the way they shoot this movie, I mentioned in my spoiler-free review, is beautiful. This movie is very artistic, takes a lot of artistic liberties. The same thing with the Candyman and the kills. It's still very gory, so if you guys like gore, that's fine. But if you guys are looking for slasher-like stuff, this really isn't going to be it. But at the same time, the way they do it is, when you see the Candyman, it's not ever in that person's perspective. It's always going to be from the mirror perspective. So you'll see him walking past windows, and then he'll cut out, and you'll see him walk past the next one as he's getting closer to the person. That, or you see a reflection on someone's phone, you see a reflection on some glasses. There's even a point where he kills someone and you see him in a very back mirror and you just see him barely sticking out. And then when I pointed it out to the person I went to the theater with, they were like, oh shoot. And they thought that was really cool too. So that is something that this movie does really well, as I personally can say. Going more on Anthony's descent into madness, there is one thing that I was very disappointed about. And I saw it in the trailer, but I didn't see it in the movie, and this bugged me a lot. Man, tag on it. Why can't we see that freak out moment where he's just like, ah!
The hell is
like, why couldn't we get that? Like that. Now I get why they didn't do it.
the hell is going on?
Because obviously it would have been silly. But I guess that's why I wanted to see it, was because I wanted to laugh in the theater. But at the same time, I can see why they cut it out, and I think that made it 100 times better because that. But at the same time, I'm just wondering what was driving this Negro crazy. Like, that was some straight up Looney Tunes stuff that we saw in the trailer, and I was really looking forward to that, but they didn't show it. They didn't show it. So touching more on that guy who I was telling you guys about at the beginning, where he meets up with the Candyman at the original, and he grows up to be the laundromat guy who tells Anthony the information about the Candyman. He actually, he prophesied that the Candyman was going to return, and he became obsessed with it because he saw his brother and sister killed by a Candyman at a younger age. And so basically believes that Anthony is going to be the new Candyman, and he is absolutely right, in assisting him in sawing off his arm. And at that point, this is where I'd say the film that has the most build-up and the most intrigue for me has the least satisfying ending. For example, they basically show that he gets shot by the cops because he has a hook attached to his hand, and then they put his girlfriend in the car. Which I gotta say, his girlfriend's very beautiful, very awesome. She's awesome throughout the entire movie. Her brother, not so much, and I will touch on that in a minute. But yes, they put her in the car, and the white police officer is just like, hey, you can just tell people that, we had to shoot him and stuff like that. And, or you could just not share the right story and you can just go to jail. Seriously, this is the most corny white guy stereotype. As you can tell, I didn't like it. It definitely was not something that I thought was necessary. A lot of the white people behavior in this movie were not necessary, like I said earlier, and that's the biggest problem I have with it, including that line right there. that made me roll my eyes, and I just went, ugh, in a theater, because I was like, that's, like, you didn't need that. Like, you didn't. So regardless, Anthony becomes the Candyman, and he shows the multiple generations and different incarnations of the Candyman, including Tony Todd returning for a final time, speaking to his girlfriend, saying, "Spread my name. Spread the legend everywhere." And that was Candyman, and we end on a note which I thought was, it's funny because I don't like saying after credits unless I know there's an after credit stuff. There's no after credits with the movie, but the way they do the credits is that alongside the credits as they're rolling, they have shadow puppet showings showing how each Candyman died and each Candyman became the new Candyman. And that had me intrigued. I loved it so much. A lot of this movie I loved. Now they touched on the character that I hated the most. And God, it was so not necessary. And let me say this right now with you guys before I get attacked, as I know I'm about to. This is not a homophobic thing that I'm going to be saying right now, but this gay character that they had in this movie was absolutely ridiculous. Like, there are gay guys that I know, and they do not act like this. They don't go around groping booty right in front of everybody. They don't. I haven't seen them do that. And I haven't seen them doing that in a lot of stuff. But no, we have them doing this in this movie where this guy is like with his boyfriend. He's just like rubbing his neck and, you know, and then, you know, rubbing his leg and grabbing his booty. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, I was like, I don't want to see this. Like, look, and again, I'm not homophobic. If you guys swing that way, that's fine. But don't do that crap in front of me. And don't you dare say and try and force me to like it. Because you guys don't want to try and force me to force stuff on you. So don't try and force stuff on me. And at that point, I saw 4 people leave the theater when that happened. Because I was just like... And because they felt uncomfortable. And I didn't feel comfortable either when that happened. Like, again, not a homophobic thing I'm saying. I'm just saying I didn't like it. Now, I'm not saying I don't like gay people. That's not what I said at all. What I said is I didn't like the type of exaggerations they were doing of gay people because that's not how they act. Some of them do act that way, but for the most part, a lot of them are not like that. They always portray gay people as being hornier than regular people. Yeah, that was my little rant right there. Again, like I said, love the Candyman, great film. I loved it just as much as the original. Some things I like more than the original, and some things in the original I like more than this one. So that was my spoiler review of the Candyman. What did you guys think of the movie? Let me know your favorite moment down below, and let me know your least favorite moment down below if you have seen the movie. Have a nice friendly discussion down in the comment section. And if you guys like the video, make sure to share first of all, and subscribe today to join the Isaiahization.